All right. Well, we can get started, and if people trickle in, then they can trickle in. So my name's Johnny. I am one of the two product managers over Marketing Pro Ads and Optimizer. Also in this call is my counterpart, Dylan Kessler, and I'll let him speak for himself.
Hey everybody. Sorry, I was struggling for the unmute button. But yeah, Dylan Kessler, I'm a principal product manager with Marketing Pro. I've been with ServiceTitan for almost 5 years and have spent my career focused on marketing technology. And yeah, really happy to be here today. I feel like Johnny and I have put together a pretty solid product that, could use some improvement like anything else can, but looking forward to showing you how you can master it and then really use that to meet or exceed your marketing goals.
Awesome. And of course, Sarah and Lexi are here who organize these, and grateful that they've set this up and that they're here as well. If you want to do a quick shout out introduction to yourself, as maybe some last stragglers come in.
Yeah, I'll introduce myself. Hey everyone, I'm Lexi Thayer. I'm the content production manager for Marketing Pro. So I am the one that really focuses in on those email templates that you guys might be using, direct mail. I also work on some of our marketing playbooks as well, but happy to have you all here today. And I can shoot it on over to Sarah if she wants to introduce herself.
Yep. Hey, I'm Sarah Gerardo. Probably can't hear me. Might have different mics going on right now. But I oversee content and just help out where I can. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so we're going to start with a quiz, but it's not going to be an actual quiz. So I want you to find in this Zoom meeting at the bottom, there's something that says reactions. And click on it, and then go ahead and give me your best reaction. Okay, got one from everyone. Did you do one, Christina? I couldn't see yours. There it is. Awesome. If I'm pronouncing it right, like the car, I didn't see one from Audi, but that's okay. All right, so now that you know how to do that, I'm going to ask a question, and react if you know what Marketing Pro ads. There we go. There's the pumpkin. React if you know what Marketing Pro ads is. Ads or optimizer. Okay, I'm only seeing one from Kate. Kate, are you using it? Are you signed up for it? Or
we are like in the process of onboarding. Sorry, I just took a bite of food.
all good. Gotcha.
We just purchased Marketing Pro, so we're like in the thick of onboarding that right now. So like next steps for us is onboarding ads and optimizer.
Great. Awesome. Well, congratulations on the purchase. It's gonna be a good one. We love what it can do.
We're excited.
Okay, so that means everyone else, which is Christina, Valerie, and Audi, you have no idea what this is. You're just here to learn and figure it out.
Yeah, definitely here to learn. So we onboarded Marketing Pro a few months ago, but we were changing over our website. So I had some DNI stuff that was being held up. So ads, Google ads, not everything's quite jiving the way it needs to, because onboarding was kind of put on hold because we didn't have our website active at that time. And it's still not. We're hoping 6 weeks and we'll be good to go. But I want to at least get a head start on what this is. We just turned on our Google ads. So we've been getting calls on them, but I don't know how it plays into ServiceTitan.
Got it. Okay. So we'll tailor this to the group and very specifically focus on what is this product, what can it do, the basics of it, as well as a little bit on how to set it up. So I have a slideshow. I'll share my screen and we can walk through it. Just want to make sure it's the right one. Okay, great. And this is going to be the exact same one that we had a Toolbox Live event in Salt Lake City that was presented there. Looks like it's good. Okay, so it's called Marketing Pro Ads. You can see the title of this is called Clean Up Your Marketing Data. And that is going to be a big focus of what the value of this feature is. There's some problems. There's so few of us, I almost just want to like talk about them rather than me just present on them, but we'll go through it. We'll talk about it and see where we get to. Does this look at all like any of your, again, fingers on that reaction button, any look like your marketing scorecards on your main dashboard? Yeah, looks something like this. Categories similar to this. Yeah. Sorry, that's skipping really fast. All right, so we see there's this existing customer campaign, which we're going to scowl at because existing customer is not a marketing campaign. It is a type of customer, it's a classification of customer, but it is not a marketing campaign. You know, a specific Google Ads campaign is a marketing campaign, and it can be a new customer or an existing customer that comes from it, but that classification is not the campaign. Okay, let's go down the list. Is Schedule Engine a campaign, or Scheduling Pro if you're using it? The answer is no, it is not a campaign. It is a conversion tool, similar to, you know, phone call or lead form is not a campaign. Schedule Engine is also not a campaign. It's a valuable tool that can help get bookings right from your website and improve conversion rate, but it, in and of itself, it is not a campaign. Yet, by default, if you are using Schedule Engine, it will assign campaigns as Schedule Engine. So what if they came from a Facebook ad or came from a Google ad or came from Yelp? They go to your website, there's all that valuable campaign information, you lose it because now it just gets classified as Schedule Engine. So that's a problem. Google Ads and Google, I'm not even going to do the test for you. Are those campaigns? Those are not. You might be thinking, well, okay, Google Ads is like, it's Google Ads, it's a campaign. The problem is Google Ads is a platform, it's a channel, but within Google Ads are a lot of smaller campaigns. You could have a campaign for, if you're multi-trade, one for electrical versus HVAC. Maybe if you are HVAC, you have HVAC installs, HVAC repair, a branded campaign where you're breaking out people who search for your name directly. Having that granularity, even within a single platform like Google Ads, is super valuable. And then Google itself, is it Google Business Profile? Is it Google LSA? Is it Google Organic? What Google is it? That's too broad. But your role, and I'm going to assume that you're marketers or have some sort of say in marketing at your location. If not, and this is pointless to you, then feel free to leave. Don't leave. Please stay. We want you here. But you're trying to decide, okay, like I'm getting the GM, the owner saying, hey, we got to get our job board full. We have techs that are just sitting around in their vans, not doing anything. You're in marketing, fill the board, that's your job. And you say, okay, fair, I guess. And so you go and say, all right, where do I put budget? How do I get more leads? How do I fulfill the marketing plan that's been established? Or maybe the job board's kind of full and you're feeling good, but you're trying to be more profitable. And you're trying to decide where should I shift budget from one campaign to another, one tactic from another, so that there's a better return on investment. And you're trying to make those decisions, and then you go here, and this is what you see. This is your data. And so you can't really shift budget to existing customers or away from that because it's not a campaign. Schedule engine, again, that's just on your website. It's a tool. Google Ads is a platform. Okay, maybe you can decide I want to take money away from it, but again, within Google Ads, one of your campaigns could be absolutely rocking it, doing good, and another one could be losing you money. So you need to be more specific. Okay. So we're not going to do this exercise, but this is a helpful one just to do to make sure that you are getting granular with your sources. So I recommend you list out every source, channel, anywhere someone can find your business. Write them out and have them ready. And then see if you have a campaign for each of those in ServiceTitan. So do you have a campaign for Yelp? If so, and this is advice, like you don't need Marketing Pro ads, like this is for anyone. Do you have a Yelp number? Do you have a Yelp page? If so, put that number on the page, or create a campaign if you don't, called Yelp, and get a number for it and put that on your Yelp page. Do you have one for your Google business profile, for Google LSA? Do you have one for your Facebook page where they can call right from that page? Create a campaign called Facebook page, get a number for it and put that number on the page. Anywhere where they can find your business, get a number for it and put it there as best you can so you can actually track where it's coming from. This is just a way to look at your reports. It basically telling you to look for this and see, is it as granular as you want it? Okay, yeah, we're just gonna skip this. Okay, so this is going on to now like, okay, yes, I know the problem. You told me the problem for the last 10 minutes, which is more than you needed to. So how are you gonna solve it? So we're gonna go to that next. Before I do, I see some chats. I don't know if they're actual questions. Not yet, okay. Are there any questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat or to, at this point, just shout them out if you have any. Okay, I'll move on. As they come up, I'll try and, there's a Q&A section. You can put in a question there or just drop it in the chat. And we'll keep moving on. So this is another framing of the problems is, you don't trust your data. You don't know your ROI. You could feel like you're wasting a lot of money on ads. That's a big one, especially when you're spending a couple thousand or more a month on ads, and maybe an agency's managing it or someone at your organization, or even you personally are managing it, and you just don't know, is this working, is it not? Clicks are getting more and more expensive. Has anyone who is doing Google Ads found that it just seems to be getting more and more expensive? Yeah, I'm looking at a bunch of names. Yes, a reaction. Thank you, Kate. Nailed it. Yeah, it is. It's crazy. I don't know, like maybe in your role you don't have visibility into cost per clicks. But can someone guess, you may put it in the chat, what you think, and I've seen a lot of different accounts, the most expensive click for any of our users that I've ever seen. And this one, someone shared it with me in is for AC repair in Dallas. Guesses, the most expensive click. Christina coming in with $178 for a single click to a website. $578. Audi coming in with $250. $400 for Lexi. Okay, 200. All of these are crazy and ridiculous responses. And the sad news is they're all wrong, because most expensive click I ever saw was $850 for one click for AC repair. And I was actually on the call with a Google rep at the time when I saw that. And they were trying to like justify it of like, well, if you have better data import, and I was like, no, pause the campaign. There's no world where $850 for AC repair is profitable. Just stop. Yeah, so that should not be possible, but and average for this is going to be like $30-$40. If you're in a smaller market, 10-20, larger, more competitive, could be up to 50-60 for average. And that business's average was closer to, I think, 70. But they are getting more and more expensive. Google admits it. All of the trends articles. And so if you think of like, what does that mean for my business? I'm trying to get more leads. I'm trying to hit a marketing plan, make the most of my budget. And I'm fighting against this inflation that is like, not only is it just like more competitors in the marketplace, but there's just lots of reasons that it's getting harder to win in Google Ads. But it's possible to win in Google Ads. And you see a lot of businesses that have grown so much through this one channel. Okay, other problems. Agency doesn't understand the business. Who here, by way of reaction, uses an external person to manage their advertising? Person or agency? All right. I feel like I'm not seeing everyone. Okay. So look like so everyone else, you managing it yourself, or feel free to talk. You don't just need to do silent reactions.
We have an agency do our Google ads, but we do everything else in-house, which is one of the reasons I'm kind of on this call. Is I've heard some mixed reviews on getting agencies on board with Marketing Pro and turning over some of that information to get that integrated.
Okay. So I will say most agencies that we've worked with have embraced this and
Okay.
adopted it and been fully on board. There are maybe a couple detractors out there that, for whatever reason, and they have reasons, they want to kind of control the story, or maybe they want to use their own technology and not use ours, whatever it might be. That would push you away from Marketing Pro, but 9 out of 10 agencies out there willing to integrate, willing to make it work, and like not only willing, but excited for a lot of the capabilities that this solution brings. So feel free to send me an email after. We'll drop them. I'll even drop mine in the chat now. If you want like specific advice around a specific agency, because I've met most of them at this point, and I can tell you like, oh yeah, they've worked on it before. They're happy to integrate with us, and that goes for everyone on this call. Or so their detractor, they kind of refuse to integrate because of this, that, and the other. But for the most part, agencies love us. We love agencies. I used to work at an agency. I was there for 8 years before joining ServiceTitan. So I understand them pretty well. And the tools we built, in many ways, have been built for agencies. I built them for me in my previous life because I saw the value of them. That being said, thinking of these agency challenges, what are some reasons that your agency doesn't understand your business? Maybe some examples you've seen of where an agency didn't quite understand your business.
Different trades.
Okay. What do you mean by that? If you don't mind me digging a bit deeper.
Oh, yeah, so we're in air conditioning. We've dealt with a lot of companies in the past that don't have a whole lot of experience marketing within the trade space. So it definitely was a battle. So, moving forward, obviously, that was one of our first questions, do you have experience within the trade space? And even more granular, do you have it within HVAC space, within Florida or this region? we definitely had to dive a lot deeper with it because just assuming that everybody could market to anybody definitely was a fault of ours that we didn't know ahead of time. We definitely had to get more granular with it. Have you done trades? Have you done HVAC? What do some of your ads look like, right? For all across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I've worked at an agency that specializes in the trades. We also specialize in a few other things, but every once in a while, our agency owner would throw a curveball of like, there's this random, what's some of the weirdest, probably the weirdest one was whole body vibration machines. You know those machines you stand on, like vibrates your whole body and do exercises. They said, you've done e-commerce before. They're based out of Australia. They're selling here, like, manage it. I was like, this is so out of my wheelhouse. It took a lot of time and effort. I'd say we figured it out, but like, there was a lot of bumps to figuring out a whole new way of selling things and marketing things. That being said, I feel like a great benefit of our tool is the data that we're sending back to Google Ads can actually help bridge that gap so that you don't need to be an expert in AC. I mean, even if an agency's like has experience with that, but if you get assigned a junior pay-per-click person, this is, you know, one of their first accounts that they don't personally know much about the industry yet. They're still learning. So we're sending kind of more clear data that anyone that understands marketing can interpret and make better optimization decisions off of. So that's kind of the cool part about it. And this last one's a really important one of I need to look in 5 different places to get the data I need. Where, you know, you're in ServiceTitan, you're on the marketing scorecard, and then your agency gives you their report, and that's there. And then you go into Google Analytics and see what they have, and you're trying to piece all together. And at the end of the day, you're just really making the decision of what story do I believe, because you're all kind of telling different stories, which can be tricky. So we wanted to solve all of these, which is where our solutions came into place. Integrated data, smart attribution, and ads optimizer. Okay, so this kind of highlights that same problem I mentioned before, where people are coming to the website from all these different sources, and then Google Analytics actually will have all of the results by source. So you can see your breakdown of traffic there. Google Ads will have a breakdown by campaign, but then in ServiceTitan, all you see is, you know, website or schedule entry. Like it's very diluted. Through the Marketing Pro Ads feature, and by putting our call tracking on the website, it fixes this. And it bridges that gap and makes it so that ServiceTitan now has access to that granular data. It passes it all the way through. That ends up turning into this kind of campaign report, which is different from that first one, right? Google, schedule engine, existing customer. Now it will look something more like this, where you have different Google Ads campaigns broken out. You can see all your Google organic versus DuckDuckGo organic versus Angie's referral traffic. And this is 5, but there'll be, you know, 40. There'll be a lot more of these, a lot more granular. And you can see the cost and revenue breakdown. For these organic ones, there's obviously no cost, but you can see ROI. You can see this breakdown a lot more clearly. So now if you are in the position of, you know, someone knocks on your door and says, hey, we need 10 more leads. Like, can you turn up some marketing? You can go here. You can see you have these 2 Google Ads campaigns and see, all right, this one's more profitable for me. So yeah, I'm going to increase the spend on this to profitably get those more leads. And you can just make that decision a lot quicker with accurate data in a single place. So that's really the value of ads, and we call it ads, Marketing Pro Ads. It really is Marketing Pro Attribution. That's what I wish it was called, because it is for non-ads traffic as well, just kind of giving you that full picture. Okay. Normally in the presentation, we actually went and set it up. We're gonna bypass that. So at the very end, we might quickly go through just how easy it is to set up, because it is pretty easy once you have it. But I do want to talk about smart attribution. Any questions before we move on? Okay. Smart attribution, and Dylan, at any point, if you want to like step in and talk, I know you're getting over a cold, but
Nope, you're doing great.
love your insight as well. If you want to take a section, if you feel so inclined. But so we're getting with Marketing Pro ads with the call tracking on the website. Now we're getting all the data and assigning calls to the campaign that they're supposed to be. We're doing that automatically now. So when a call comes in, instead of it saying website, it'll say Google Ads with the specific campaign on it, or Google Organic. We're automatically assigning these calls and the corresponding jobs that are booked to the proper marketing campaign. So this is happening automatically. So that's kind of the first part of smart attribution, is we're assigning all of this as it should be based on the data from the website visit that we saw. But there's still the potential for some gaps. For example, what if someone calls in and leaves a voicemail, and then you call them back, or a CSR, your organization calls them back and books a job out of it? So they're going to go to the call screen. They're going to click manual call or manual job, and they're going to enter the information and book the call. And then they need to go down to this field called marketing campaign. They need to manually choose the campaign that person came from. Even though maybe they called 5 minutes earlier and we had that correct attribution, we had the right marketing campaign. Now they're manually picking something that's going to be different. And often they'll pick whatever's at the top of the list. They'll pick existing customer, something that kind of overwrites or takes away from what that actual caller came in from. You know, the Facebook ad, the Google ad, whatever it might have been that brought them in. So we have a smart attribution feature that anytime a manual call happens, we'll actually look back 7 days and see, were there any web form submissions or inbound calls for this customer? And if there was, then we will take the marketing campaign from that call or form and overwrite the manual selection. So if the CSR picked existing customer, as soon as the job's created, we see someone called in from Google Ads campaign 1, we go and overwrite that job with Google Ads campaign 1. So we're not just initially setting the correct attribution for these inbound calls, but we're also cleaning up data where we see there's a clear, like, there's a marketing campaign that brought this in. They did manual, like there's a real source for this customer, and we'll set that. Another cleanup thing is revenue attribution windows. And something that we saw, maybe speaking of the AC world, often there are multiple jobs that happen where the revenue happens. The first job could be an estimate, $0, whatever it might be, and then there's a follow-up job where the install actually happens, or repair, and then a follow-up install. And if you group them together in a project, the campaign carries through. You can see that campaign, but we actually did data analysis and found 42% of the time there's these follow-up jobs being created and they're not being given the right campaign. So this feature, what it does is you can set a window. And what that window does is any job that follows up a first job will just automatically get the campaign of that first job. So if a first AC repair came in from being organic, we'll say, and then a job is booked, it's a $0 estimate. Every follow-up job within that window will have their campaign automatically assigned to being organic. So we're cleaning up data for subsequent jobs. We also have this one feature that can prevent CSR interference. And what we've seen sometimes is a call will come in with the campaign, and then the CSR will change that campaign based on what was said. Sometimes that can be helpful if maybe it came from Google Organic, but then they say, you know, I saw your yard signs out there. Okay, that's a valid marketing source, and that's their perception of it, so maybe that's more accurate. But sometimes, and one I saw that kind of broke my heart, is we automatically assigned the correct marketing campaign. It was a Google ad campaign called like a plumbing city name, something like that. And then the CSR asked, how did you hear about us? And they said on Google. So then they went and changed the campaign to Google. So we had this granular, like, this is the actual campaign it came from, and now in reports it was grouped in Google. So sometimes you want to just, if the campaign's been set to something, you know, the smart attribution setting stuff, you just want it to stick and not have it really be changeable. So there's a toggle you can switch that will prevent that. So if the Marketing Pro ads or a tracking line sets the campaign for a job, they're not allowed to change that. Or for a call, then they're not allowed to change that. So these features are pretty nice to clean it up and really make it so that when you look at your data, you can trust it. Any questions on that? Okay. Moving forward, we're going to get to Optimizer now. And we talked about click inflation and how it's getting more and more expensive. This was from Search Engine Journal's PPC Trends. They got some of the best experts in all of the Google ad space and had them talk about the trends that they're seeing and how to kind of prevent them or combat them. And this was a key part of that article where it says inflation is hitting everywhere, even your ad auctions. Talking about how it's getting really expensive, and there's a lot of different things that it said that you can do. The one that I want to kind of focus on is improve the quality of campaigns and the value of conversions. And your Google ads, you're targeting this market that you're in, and you're trying to get them to call your business. And historically, what you've been able to really pick for them to for a potential customer to call you is keyword, and that's it. It's plumber near me or AC repair near me, whatever it might be. And there's these keywords, and you're trying to pick the highest quality keywords. But there are a lot of tools you can use to not just show up for everyone searching plumber near me, but only show up for the highest quality people searching plumber near me. There's different tactics and signals you can send to Google that facilitates that. And that can be an absolute game changer. Yeah, I wanted to blow by this thing, but that's not fair to you. So, kind of shows advertisers, everyone knows who's in charge, me, right? Advertisers feel like they're in charge. People running the accounts feel like they're in charge. And Google will pat us on the head and say, yes, of course you're in charge. And the truth is, when I started running Google ads, you had to pick for every keyword exactly how much you wanted to spend for that ad. It was this game of chess, it felt like, of constantly tweaking your bids, as you call them, to make sure your ads are showing up in the absolute optimal spot. And the last few years, Google has just completely taken that away through something called smart bidding. And they say, no, you don't get to pick how much it costs. We promise, pat us on the head, we promise that we're getting you the most results. We'll take control and show your ads where we think they should be shown, for the keywords that we think they should be shown. And even now, they're creating headlines. They're generating the content that they think should be shown. So Google's taking more and more control. But the problem is, Google, we talked about how agencies don't understand your business always. Even like far less so, Google does not understand your business. And we got some stick figures to show this. I'm very proud of these stick figures. I made these stick figures. I've been told, they're maybe not the most professional looking thing, in that, you're doing presentations, you're representing this corporation. Like, let's hire some designers. Let's do a polished version of this. And I've refused to give up my stick figures so far. We'll see how long I can keep them. Okay, so let's say you have 4 different customers searching for air conditioning. And let's say the cost per lead for each of these is $150. So not cost per click, it's not Dallas, but the cost per lead for these to get the phone to ring was $150. Google will treat all 4 of these as success. So they will keep going for more people that look exactly like those 4 people. If you are just sending leads to Google or phone calls to Google, which is how it's mostly done in the space. However, if you work at a shop, you know that not all calls are created equal. So this first one might want to know how much would it cost for a new AC. Okay, so they're interested, but clearly like maybe shopping around, price sensitive. This one, do you service my house that's 100 miles from your shop? We already know that's a non-customer, low quality customer. My unit is 30 years old. Can someone take a look? You already have dollar signs in your eyes at that one. It would be hard to mess that one up. And the last one, do you sell portable ACs? That person just needs to go to Costco and get a portable one. They are not your customer. Again, Google doesn't know the difference between these. They saw 4 success signals, 4 calls for their ads. They're going to keep getting 4 more that look exactly like this. But only 2 of those ended up getting booked. The other 2 were excused. And of those, first one paid the $100 call-out fee, left a 1-star review complaining about the price without the work actually being done. $0 for the other 2. And the third one's the one that turned into a $1,200 system replacement. So they are not equal. We know that when we're looking at the data in ServiceTitan, and since Google has all the control about showing your ads, it would be nice if there's a way to tell Google, hey, like, yeah, all 4 of them called, but only one of them turned into, you know, a high-paying customer. And that is what Optimizer is. Optimizer sends revenue data back to Google to help train it on which customers are turning into 12K jobs and which ones are turning into $0 jobs. And then Google takes that information and uses it to show up for more of these and less of these. So how does it do that? It's kind of complex, but Google is not just looking at keyword. When someone's searching air conditioning, that's not the only thing they care about, is the fact that they search air conditioning. Google knows a lot about you. We can get into the creepiness of, I mean, my wife started searching for new couches 2 weeks ago, moving to a new house. She's started searching, and then I started getting on my device ads everywhere about couches, all over every social platform. And I didn't do a single search for it, but you know, it's there's so much data sharing happening and so much data collecting that Google knows a lot about you. So Google will know that this person lived in a certain zip code, was a certain age range, a certain income range. Potentially they even have sometimes like credit data, knows interests, knows that you've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about, you know, home repair, knows whether or not you're a homeowner or a renter. It has profiles built on every single person searching. And so now they've taken control of where to show ads. They'll know that, okay, people like this who are between the age of 45 and 55, homeowner in this zip code that likes to read the news and watches YouTube videos on home repair are high quality customers. So the next time 4 people search, it's going to scan each of them. Essentially, a scan maybe sounds a little too much like a Terminator future, but it'll score each of them on different characteristics of what's worked before. And so it sees this time, this person's the newsreader who's the homeowner that lives in the good zip code and all that. So it will show the ad for this person. But this person is 18 to 24 years old and goes to school and is renting. It knows that. So if they're maybe they're searching air conditioning for a research paper, like who knows? It'll see that it doesn't match previous successful searchers, and it will not show an ad for them, or show it really, really low on the page. So they probably won't see it. And if they do, it's really cheap click. So that's how Optimizer works, is we're training Google on better data signals. Any questions on that? See a chat come in. Just Sarah laughing at something I said earlier. Okay. One cool feature that's coming out pretty soon is this works really well. How well? I'll skip on that part. That's all interesting stuff that we'll hopefully get to. Okay, this is how well it works. That people who are using Optimizer versus those who aren't, they see their ROAS, return on ad spend, which is pretty similar to ROI, increased by almost 3 times. and their average order value increased by 27%. Which makes sense. If you're showing up for more $12,000 jobs and less $100 jobs, your average order is going to go up. So it really works when people are using this. Theoretically, it always made sense to me. Like, okay, Google tells me it works better. It's the concept of it. But then when we released it, we saw the data roll in. I was surprised that it was such a big increase. So getting the right data to Google matters and can really determine. We talk about like it's getting more expensive. It's getting harder to win. This type of thing can be the competitive edge that makes ad this profitable platform for you that you can pump money into and use it to scale a business versus one where you're just losing a bit of money, you're just burning cash, and it's not the channel that you can use. So yeah, love Optimizer, love what it does, and how it's helping our customers turn Google Ads into a profitable vehicle for growth. The one thing that we did see as a potential problem, again, we saw these numbers, but something we noticed is sometimes it takes a few weeks for a job to finish, right? So that $0 job comes in, it's an estimate, and then some back and forth, and they're out of town or whatever. You don't get the system installed the next day or the same day. Even for other trades, it's not always same day. Even plumbing, like you're booked up for a few days, you don't get there for a few days, whatever it might be. And so there's this delay between the time that the job happens and the actual the Google click happens in the revenue. And so Google's trying to make these real-time smart decisions, but they have to wait a couple days or a couple weeks to get the data that allows them to make that decision. After some time, it gets better at it, but we kind of had this thought of what if we were able to get that data to Google faster so that it could immediately know what to do with it. And that's what this job value prediction is. It's coming soon, like really soon, like in a week or two soon. Where we don't wait for the revenue, the job to complete. We have an algorithm that predicts how much revenue is going to come as soon as the job is booked. We send that into Google. And that we've seen that improve performance as well and actually make these numbers even higher. So we have a new tool coming that uses Titan intelligence to boost that even further by sending data even faster to Google. So that one's pretty cool. A lot of other things as well, really cool things coming. But for the sake of time, we'll probably get to some other things. Any questions? I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds for questions because I need a drink. All right, so I'll let the group decide. We can, for the next 14 minutes, 13 minutes, we can talk about other optimizer features like capacity awareness. Can talk a bit more about the roadmap, things coming out later. Can talk about our brand new web form integration feature, walk through that, or I could walk through the process of setting up Marketing Pro ads, the dynamic numbers. Any preference on what to cover in the next 10 minutes? Christina says, let's set this up. Okay. Any other competing votes? All right. That's the winner. I'm going to pull open a demo account and I'll walk through the setup. I hope we can get through it in 10 minutes. That would be like proof that setup can only take you 10 minutes. You'll be fine. Which, you know, if you have like access to your account and if everything goes smoothly, you really can have it done in 10 minutes. Okay, I'll share my screen again. This is a demo account. So the way that all of this tracking magic happens is what we're going to do is put a code snippet on your website. And what that's going to do is replace your phone number with a ServiceTitan number kind of dynamically so we can track information. And once we have that information tracked, we can assign it to the call. And so really what we need to set up is how to swap those phone numbers on your website. The place you go for that, I apologize for how long this is taking. So you'll go to settings, integrations, marketing integrations. These will only show up if you have a Marketing Pro package that has ads on it. There are some versions that don't have ads or optimizer. So you can sign up and get that level of package, and then you'll see these options here, where you'll see Google Ads, analytics, dynamic call tracking, it's the call swapping, web form call extensions. So for Google Ads, and this is a demo account, it's half set up, so it'll look a bit different for you. But first thing you want to do is connect Google Ads. All you'll do is go add account, log in through Google, and you'll be able to connect it. The one problem will come if you don't have access to your Google Ad account, then you won't be able to do this. So if it's an agency, they'll be able to connect it for you. Or maybe they can give you access. You really should have access to your own account. You should try and get that access. So you'll go through the flow and connect the Google Ad account. Once you do that, it's painfully slow today. It's usually not this bad. Once you do that, it'll show the accounts that you've connected. Or will it? There we go. I'm in a new house. I thought the Wi-Fi was good. Google Fiber. Maybe my computer's just slow. Okay, so you'll see all the accounts you've connected, and then you'll see all of the Google Ad campaigns. Because in your Google Ad account, you have multiple campaigns. And you can see for every Google Ad campaign that you have, there will now be a campaign in ServiceTitan that matches it. So when you're looking at the data in ServiceTitan, you'll have the breakdown by campaign. So once you've done this step, then you'll connect your Google Analytics. It's very similar, simple process. You go in, again, you need to have access to analytics. That's my father-in-law's butcher shop. I just needed a demo and ran some ads for him once. So you'll integrate the account, go through the same flow, and you'll be able to pick it. It's pretty straightforward. The only thing is you do need to make sure it is not like a really old school UA, Universal Analytics account, but one of the newer GA4 accounts. Once that's done, we'll get to the dynamic call tracking. And on this one, we have a new version of this that just makes it really nice and simple for you. So I'll just go ahead and use johnny.com. I don't really know what that is.
Does the DNI have to be set up for it to work?
Yes, if you are using a different DNI, like you're stuck with CallRail or a different one that your agency is just using, there are ways to integrate those with ours, so you don't have to use it. But the magic of all of this is the DNI. Without that, we can't assign web traffic to the right campaign.
No, I agree. I said we switched our provider for that reason. They were kind of giving us crap about the DNI, and they're like, oh, work around. And I'm like, no, I don't want to work around. I want somebody that's integrated. So we got with Rhino, who's now operating it, and they're building our new website, but we just don't have that DNI one finished yet, but okay.
Nice. I got off a call with that team right before this one, or I guess an hour before this one started talking about like DNI stuff. So yeah, they Interestingly, they were one of those early detractors of like not wanting to, but then I think they just really saw the value of it that it created and said, you know what, let's make this work. And now they're fully on board. A lot of their customers are using it. And they definitely know how to set it up. I've done it with them multiple times. But yeah, for those of us that don't have an agency that know how to do it, or you want to walk your agency through it, all you have to do is put in the website domain, put in your phone number and the zip code that you are operating out of. Then push next. Oh yeah, you have to pick a number that's in the account. Okay, that's what you will do. Again, we'll wrap this up in just a few minutes, and then we'll go to one that's more set up. I think that one might let me go to the next page. Then you'll get a script that has, this is what needs to go on your website. So give it to your web developer, they'll put it on. Then you'll click next. This is an older version, so you won't see this. You'll just go pretty much right to this page where you test it to make sure it's working. And then that's it. So you'll put in that first information, get that code, give it to your web developer, they put it on the website, come back here and test it. And then once you do that, it will be on your site, it'll start working. What you'll see is the phone numbers on your site that you entered as the ones to replace will, you'll open the website, you'll see that, and like immediately it'll swap out with a dynamic, a different one. And it's still a ServiceTitan number, still goes where it's supposed to go. And it will be able to track the information that we need it to. The other cool new thing that we released is when you put this code on your website, if you turn on this feature, which you have to reach out to support, they can turn it on for you. What it will do is we'll also check your website for any web forms that you have on the website. This doesn't count Schedule Engine or Scheduling Pro, but any web, just like contact forms. And what we'll do is we'll actually automatically pull any submissions to that web form and drop them into the ServiceTitan account. You'll be able to see those under the follow-up tab. Under the lead section. And again, you don't really need to set anything up. If that code is on the website and we flip the switch on our end, then it'll be all good. Every form submission that happens, we'll drop it here as a lead. And you'll be able to see it, and we'll assign the correct marketing campaign to that. So automatically handle that. What if you do use Scheduling Pro or Schedule Engine? We have an integration there as well, where if you're using the newer version, it's actually just a switch when you're kind of setting up the marketing side of things that says use Marketing Pro attribution, and that will automatically assign the correct campaign to Schedule Engine jobs too. So when a Schedule Engine booking comes in, it won't say Schedule Engine, it will say the correct Google Ads campaign, being organic, whatever it might be. So we really have tried to just give as much coverage for all these conversions as possible, so that when you're looking at campaign summary reports or marketing dashboards, you are able to see truly your ROI per channel and make smart, informed decisions that are going to lead to growing your business and profitably advertising and spending more, as opposed to just kind of guessing and throwing money at things and hoping it works out. That's what we're trying to avoid. All right, we got 1 minute left. Any last questions?
No questions, but thank you for your help, Johnny.
You bet. Hopefully it was valuable. Leave a reaction if you thought it was valuable. If you don't leave a reaction, I'm still going to assume you thought it was valuable. Okay. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Appreciate you taking the time to learn about this, and excited to see you implement it in your businesses. My email again, jwenzel@servicetitan.com. Dropped it in the chat. First initial, last name, jwenzel@servicetitan.com. If you have any questions about this, you want to get the package, you don't have it, or you just want to get some help in setting it up, happy to do that.